Welcome to the GCN Tech Show with me, Alex.
And me, Ollie. This week, it's our Christmas special, and we've got loads. Firstly, pro bikes for sale at bargain prices, new specialised shoes, your upgrades, the bike vault, and hopefully snacks of the week, more snacks.
Yeah. Plus, of course, we've got our main talking point, which is, has Aero just gone too far?
What?
Has it gone too far?
What?
Yeah, you heard me.
Firstly, the results from the poll last week. Except there aren't any because Hank got so excited that he forgot to do a poll.
Yeah, not so great, eh? But onto our main talking point, which is, has Aero gone too far? And this is a good one this week because, well, we both got some interesting thoughts on this. And of course, I do love all things Aero and tech related, as does everyone on this channel. And it gets me thinking that, well, I do love it, but only to a certain point because we've all got the level which we sort of deem acceptable or that's a little bit too far. And I suppose the same applies for everyone, doesn't it?
Yes, and in case you're wondering what has got us thinking about this, well, it's things like this.
Ah! Oh no!
And this. No!
Ah!
Make it stop!
No one ever needs to see that again. Oh my God. As a racer, I spent years obsessing over power, weight and aero in all sorts of various proportions, but in the later years of my racing career, I did focus on aero a lot more than I had done previously because, well, I quickly worked out that I didn't have to train any harder, I didn't have to train very longer, and most importantly, I could carry on going to the cafe and eating cake, which, well, it all sounds pretty appealing to me.
Nice. Well, I mean, I know mainly me,
yeah,
bang on about aero all of the time. But I mean, the thing is, unless you are riding up massive climbs all of the time, well, the most important things are aerodynamics and drag when you're riding along. And like it or not, this is the case for everyone. Doesn't matter how fast you're riding, aero affects you.
Yeah, that's right. And although it is for everyone, there used to be the age-old debate of, should we focus on aero or lightweight when choosing our bikes? Which should we focus on? But really, that question doesn't need to exist anymore because, well, if we're sticking to the UCI ruling of the 6.8 kilo bike limit, there are incredibly aero bikes already out there that conform to that lightweight measure, and you don't need to decide between aero and lightweight because, well, you can have it both, especially if you're sticking to the UCI rules.
Yeah, but the rules aren't everything. I mean, if you're not racing professionally, you don't need to obey the rules.
That's true,
Make your own rules. And there are a whole host of hyper aero bikes out there that just take the rule book, rip it up and throw it out the window. And if you want to use those bikes, then you can. But I mean, even we do have a limit because the aesthetic of cycling must be preserved, I feel. So I've designed a quick quiz that I'm going to make you play, Alex.
Yeah.
That's going to determine how aero you are, how much of an aero nerd you are.
I'm intrigued, yeah.
And if you guys want to play along at home, you can do.
Sounds good.
Are you ready?
Well, I think I'm ready, yeah, cheers.
Right, question 1. Do you own an aero bike?
Yes.
Question 2. Do you not own a lightweight bike?
Do I not own? It might take me a second. Do I not own a lightweight bike? No, I don't own one, no.
Okay. Do you own more than one skin suit?
Yeah, I do. I do own more than one.
Do you own a TT bike?
Not anymore, unfortunately.
Not anymore.
Yeah, but got away from that one.
Do you have aero wheels deeper than 50 millimeters?
Yes, I do. 55s.
Okay. Have you ever worn aero socks?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah? You're wearing them right now?
Yeah, I got into the office quite quick this morning. Should have the speed of my legs walking across town.
Have you ever worn aero socks when not racing, is the next question.
Yeah, I've got to admit that. Yeah, I have, yeah. Sorry, everyone.
Do you turn your quick release levers to be more aero even when on training rides?
Only the front one. Can that count as a half point?
Counts. No, that's a full point.
All right, that's a full point, yeah.
Have you ever aero tested your position?
Yes. God, I'm running out of fingers here.
Have you ever used custom handlebars?
No, that's okay. Yeah, safe on that one.
Is your bike UCI legal? I mean, UCI illegal?
No, it is UCI legal.
Right. And the final question, have you ever Sorry. And the final question, have you ever competed in or trained for a triathlon?
I don't want to have to admit it on camera, but I have. I've done one triathlon in the past.
Well, my calculation, you
scored 9, I think.
9 out of 12.
Oh dear.
I'd say if you answered 4 or less of these questions, you're fine. If you answered yes to all of them, then you're a fully fledged aero dork, and you need to have a word with yourself.
So I've got 9 out of how many was it? 12?
12, yeah.
So maybe I do need to have a word with myself later on. Yeah. Do you know what? I think you'd have probably scored 12 out of 12 on that.
Yeah, I did, yeah.
Yeah, you definitely did. But as much as we're saying how important aero is and, you know, how we like it, some hyper sort of aero bikes, well, we've all got our limits, haven't we? Because the second that practicality, sort of usability and serviceability starts to be compromised by these, well, I'm just not so sure I'm all for it.
Yes, I mean, we're all for tech and innovation, but, you know, we do have a limit. And you know, you look at the UCI, it's one of the reasons why the UCI rules exist. One of our favourite things here on the Tech Show is to give the UCI rules a hard time.
Yeah,
one of our favourite hobbies.
It is a good pastime of ours.
It is. But I do appreciate and empathise with them that what they do is difficult, because on the one hand they need to balance the innovation but still preserve the heritage and the aesthetic of the sport, and it must be a difficult thing to do.
Yeah, that's it. But talking about limits of hyper bikes and aero, for example, well, the same applies for equipment and, well, clothing too, because, well, if you're out for a casual ride down to the cafe with your friends, like, no one wants to see you in the cafe in a skin suit, do they? I just don't think that a skin suit...
Some people might.
A skin suit, I just don't count it as acceptable for a casual ride.
Messages on Instagram.
Yeah, I think skin suits are great if you're training hard, or, you know, you're doing an evening chain gang, for example, where speed is what it's all about. But in casual situations, it's not great. And I suppose the same could be said for time trial helmets. They're pretty wacky and unique looking, and sure, they're great if you're doing a time trial event or a race. But if you're just out training or riding your time trial bike for the sort of enjoyment of riding it, then, well, just use a normal helmet.
I think time trial helmets are also acceptable if you're defending your Rebel Cruiser from Darth Vader as well.
Yeah, that could be the one exception to the rule. So it really does depend on your individual preference as to what you think is an acceptable level of aero or not. And, well, for me at the moment, I think aero is all well and good, but as soon as we start to see bike designs that, well, resemble spaceships, then I'm going to be, well, maybe not so keen for it.
Yeah, I just love riding faster and anything that helps make me faster.
Yeah.
It's a difficult one. So this is going to be our poll, right? Yeah. Has aero gone too far? Is it time to put the brakes on aero? If you click down below, we'll be able to vote yes or no.
Interesting.
Time now for hot tech. And speaking of hot, I'm already hot in this. I'm taking this beard off.
I'll get this thing off, yeah. There we go. Got a lot of fluff in my mouth. There we go. But first up, brand new specialised shoes. What do you think of these?
What, the new S-Works shoes spotted on the feet of the Quick-Step riders?
Yeah, that's right. And it's been a couple of years now since Specialized have had their S-Works 7 shoe out, and maybe it's time for an update. So yeah, we've seen those spotted on the feet of the Quick-Step riders, which look pretty cool, although we haven't got a vast amount of details on them. You can see from the pictures that the boa dials are spaced out a little bit further than they have been previously. So we've got one a little bit higher up the foot and one slightly lower down. And interestingly enough, the wires for the boa dials seem to be hidden within the shoe itself, which is something quite cool, and we've not seen on many shoes before. But no doubt, as with all new release shoes, these are going to be lighter and stiffer than the last ones.
Yeah, well, you'd bet, wouldn't you? Look really cool, though. I look forward to them officially dropping. But while on the subject of pro team kit, Jumbo Visma is selling off a load of team bikes we've spotted. So you better go and check that out straight away, because they'll probably be gone in about 5 minutes. Yeah. But looks like there's some amazing bargains to be had if you're in the market for a Celeste Bianchi with rim brakes. Yeah. Because, well, they're swapping bike sponsors.
Yeah, they're selling everything by the looks of it.
Yeah. Yeah. So they're swapping bike sponsors and going over to Cervelo next year. And you imagine they're probably going to be on disc brakes.
Yeah, maybe some bargains to be had.
Yeah. You may remember a few weeks back we did a tech show on the subject of buying X-Pro team bikes. So I'd recommend checking that out if you haven't seen it before. But, I mean, basically, make sure you try and find out what it is you're getting. Because if you're buying Connor Dunn's training bike, then it's probably best avoided. But if you're buying, you know, Alex Payton's spare race bike that's never been ridden, then you could be getting an absolute bargain.
Up next, we've got Neat Cleats, which is quite a cool little product that you can clip your shoes into and keeps them tidy out of the way and saves you tripping over them, most importantly. Also pretty helpful for when you need to dry your shoes, because you can hang them over a radiator and dry them out nice and quick. Equally, they have got a slightly revised, newer version than what I've got, because I've got one of the originals, which can be used to help line up your cleats, which makes switching cleats over onto some new shoes quite a simple process, which otherwise I find particularly fiddly.
Yeah, that's a cool little bit of
cool
little bit of gadge.
Yeah.
Hot chain tech next, and we've got this new motion chain design. This is a really interesting bit of engineering, and the aim behind it is to make chains more efficient than they currently are. It's been developed in conjunction, we understand, with Wattshop and Dan Bigham, who you may have seen on the channel before. And this particular chain is, at the moment, just suitable for single speed.
Yeah, it's quite a wide design, isn't it?
Yeah, it is quite a wide design. But instead of a conventional chain design where you have a single pin and then a link and then another pin, and the pins go in between the gaps of the teeth, what you have here is a dual pin design.
Yeah,
and
that's
the pins,
the key bit, isn't it?
Yeah, the pins actually sort of flank each tooth on the outside, and then it makes the chain wider. But the theory is that this actually reduces the friction in the rollers considerably.
It spreads the load across the sprockets that it's running along a lot further as well.
Yes, and what they're trying to do is improve the efficiency of drivetrains. So at the moment, you have chains are typically 98% efficient.
Yeah, that's like the super optimised chain. So this is sort of searching for that elusive 2%, aren't they?
Yes, but you know, it's probably the kind of tech that we will see in the Olympics, which hopefully will go ahead. But,
yeah, I think only a year late.
Yeah, but these sort of, you know, marginal gains, cool.
Very cool. Well, sticking with chains, actually, I've got a cool little device which I've seen, which is called Chain Lift. And this is a sort of unique product which I've not seen before, and it works off of a system of pivots which you can hook into your chain and helps keep your hands nice and clean when you remove the back wheel, meaning, well, you haven't got dirty hands, and you can take the wheel out of these and drop it onto an indoor trainer, for example. And this works using, like I said, a system of pivots and linkages. It's got a pin that goes in place where the rear derailleur pivots, and then you lift it up and it guides the chain up and over, make life super easy.
But something, first world problem this, I actually managed to put my bike into crash mode when I was putting it on the trainer.
You need to check out one of my vids from a few weeks ago.
I could do with one of those.
Quite a cool product, although I'm not sure everyone's going to need one, because if you've got a good sort of knack and technique to this, you can do it carefully without getting your hands dirty.
Yes.
So.
And finally, in hot tech this week, we've got some cool custom tech from Caps Guru. So, Caps Guru, they're small little independent company based in south of England. They're famous for making custom top caps for your headset, and a lot of top riders actually buy these.
I bought one a few weeks back.
We've spotted them on a lot of pro bikes and stuff out at races and things like that, which is cool. But they've just come out with some bar end caps now that are boltless. And they're aluminium and custom, and they can go in.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, and if you're into a bit of customization and want a little kind of neat little bling touch, personal touch put on your bike, I think this is quite a cool little thing you can put in there.
Yeah, I'll go with that. It's now time for snacks of the week, but unfortunately this week we've got no snacks. Well, I think after the banquet Hank and I had last week, I think we need a little bit of a low-calorie one this week.
Well, I'm reliably informed that we do have snacks en route.
Oh,
it's just the Christmas post is being a bit rubbish.
Yeah.
But Sachin Katecha's got in touch.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, and he showed me that he's posting us a big box full of nerds.
Are they those sweets?
Yeah. How do you rate nerds as an on-bike snack?
Very, very sugary.
Well, that's what you want.
Yeah.
It's pure sugar, pure carbs, pure fuel.
Well, there you go. Ideal.
Also, watermelon flavour. That's where it's at.
Oh, I hate watermelon.
You haven't tried watermelon nerds, though, have you?
No.
Doesn't taste anything like watermelon, but tastes amazing.
That rounds that off.
Hopefully more snacks next week. Cha-ching! It's time now for Screw Riding Upgrades by Upgrades, where you submit upgrades that you've made to your bikes, equipment or cycling lives for the chance to win the ultimate prize.
Shadow stand.
The shadow stand. Check this out. So basically you use a shadow stand so that you can take pictures of your bike in beautiful locations and show it off to the world. Look at that. see-through.
Pretty impressive, eh?
GCN shadow stand.
Do you send these out every week?
No, I thought you sent it out.
Oh dear, no, I've not sent any out.
Oh.
Oh dear.
Anyway, what happened last week?
Last week was a very exciting show.
Results?
Yeah, where Hank got carried away.
Oh. Well, it was between Davzad's specialised Cirrus build and Gump's upgraded workshop. Who's the winner?
Gump's taken a bit of a stormy victory here, 63%.
Wow, that workshop does look pretty good.
Yeah.
I like his big neon bud sign.
It's a pretty cool workshop, yeah.
And he's got a picture of me on his TV.
If I'm honest, I think that's probably what won the viewers over.
You think so?
Yeah.
Oh, well, who have we got this week?
So this week, do you want to start us off?
Oh yeah, well,
go on.
Tell you what, Paul Martin has submitted this, right, which is, well, it was just a scrappy. He said he rescued it from a hard pile a few streets from his home in Melbourne. Hard pile.
Yeah, I'm not sure what one of those is.
I don't know what a hard pile is either. Hard pile, mate. That's my Australian accent.
Yeah.
Well, he said he rescued it during lockdown at night, and he could only leave his house 1 hour per day. So
in a mask.
He had to sneak out at night and rescue, I think he means steal, this bike. He said he's now rescuing bikes as a new hobby.
Interesting.
What does rescuing bikes mean?
I'm not sure.
I'm rescuing bikes from other people. Maybe shouldn't stealing bikes.
Yeah, I'm not sure you should advertise that.
Anyway, he's
done a good job though.
He has done a good job. He's got a fabric saddle on there, which is nice. He's put some nice bottle cages on, and he's asking, when is Manon going to finally spray her bike? Well, I walked in on Manon spraying her bike the other day, and she was doing an incredible. That sounds wrong. She's doing an incredible job. It does look amazing. That video is going to be amazing. I mean, she definitely picked up some fantastic tips from Fat Creations, because it'll be worth the wait, that one. But
this bike was looking pretty tatty, to be honest, and they've done a good job of this. I do like the finished article, with a nice bit of sort of sunset in the background as well.
Oh, it's a good sort of restoration save job, and that is just a really cool looking bike now.
They've done a good job with the picture as well. It's almost bike vault worthy.
Yeah, it is.
Anyway, they're up against Michael8848, catchy username. He says he wanted a new winter bike and a repair project, so he searched for a used broken bike, and he's found this Orbea Orca, so fairly new bike compared to what we quite often see in the bike upgrade section, which was crashed within the first 100 kilometres. So all the components were pretty new, but he obviously had to go about repairing the damaged frame, which it looks, from what the pictures he's submitted, he's done a pretty good job of this, because, well, he's invested a good bit of time and research into learning how to repair a carbon frame.
You know when you said his name's catchy? You know why his name is that name?
No, but I do feel like you're about to tell me.
It's the height of Everest, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah.
8848?
Well, not anymore. He needs to update his username, because it's 1 metre higher than that. It's 4'9" now.
Well,
anyway.
I'm pleased you cleared that up, thanks.
Yeah, that's right.
But on a more serious note, he has done a good job of repairing this. I quite like the pictures detailing the frame repair, where he's highlighted the area that he's fixing, sanded it all down, prepped the area, repaired it, and painted it in what looks like a pretty cool colour to me.
Yeah, I'm massively impressed with this, because I think a lot of the time people have damaged their bikes, they've crashed their bikes, they've damaged their carbon frames, and most people would just write that off.
They go, oh, I'll buy a new one.
Chuck it in the bin, buy a new one, and be left without a bike and be left massively out of pocket. But the fact that he sort of repaired it himself, fair play.
I'd take my Christmas hat off to that.
Yeah, he has done a fantastic job with that paint as well.
Very good.
The stem on there, and the bottle cage, and just that sweet fade. Good work.
Yeah, impressive.
Well, it's not down to us. Both are brilliant upgrades. So you know what to do. Click on the link and you can vote as to which one you think is worthy of the shadow stand.
Looking forward to this.
Time now for our favourite part of the show, the Bike Vault, where you submit pictures of your bikes and we judge them to be either nice or super nice. If they're super nice, ring the bell and they go in the Bike Vault for eternity. Also, if you would like to play at home, you can do on the GCN app and vote for bikes, whether or not they're nice or super nice. All the ones featured in the show will be up there on the app.
Yeah. Shall I kick-start us off?
Who have we got first?
Matteo Zargo, first in with their Noah Fast Disc. Chelsea Ridley, 2019.
A beautiful winter scene.
Yeah, I put this in because it's wintry.
Whereabouts in the world is that?
I don't know. We don't have that information.
I know. Yeah, it's somewhere on the continent of Europe, I think.
Yeah, that's narrowed it down a lot. But it's a pretty cool bike. There are obviously very significant bike vault emissions that we've got to highlight for this.
Yes, I mean, non-drive side, what are you thinking? What are you thinking, you Philistine?
Yeah, saddlebag bottles, yeah, just a nice. We can't even dwell on that, can we?
Farang Biker has done a multi-day ride to Phuket on his Trekomonda SLR.
What do you think of this?
Apparently this photo was taken in 35-degree heat.
Whoa.
Wowzers. I think that is very nice. I'm a sucker for kind of silver and mirrored silver finishes.
Yeah, it's very cool. What have we got? We got Biggie Smalls, valves aligned, no big chimney, no accessories. Is that our first super nice of the show?
Well, I think that is a super nice, and I applaud him as well for taking the time to set up the bike properly and use a nice stick at the back there.
Yeah.
I mean, a shadow stand would be better, but the stick will do. Yeah. In 35-degree heat, I don't think I could have managed that.
Not without any drink bottles on your bike.
Yeah, yeah.
Right, super nice it is.
Who have we got next?
Next up, we've got Arnold_0. One of two hybrid bikes he bought with his for his wife on their anniversary. We've got a Schwinn GTX 2 2020. And this, I picked this out actually because not our traditional type of bike that we'd have in the bike vault, but very well presented. Do you know what? I think you're going to struggle to find any faults with this bike.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we've got valves aligned, cranks aligned, Biggie Smalls, no chimney. I mean, the background is obviously suboptimal, but yeah, I think you're going to struggle to find any problems with that. No accessories on the bike. Yeah. For me, I think I can probably give this one a super nice. What about you?
Well, I mean, it's nice, but the background, there's a lot of clutter going on there, isn't there?
Yeah, the background is not great, but...
What on earth's on the TV screen?
Yeah, forget about that. We're basing this one purely on the bike because there are no emissions with this bike.
Quite like the picture of Audrey Hepburn in the background. Also, this is clearly someone who's been on holiday to Paris as they have bought an Eiffel Tower sort of statue thing. That's stuck behind the TV, behind the sort of computer monitor, poking out there. What else can we see? I mean, there's just a lot. There's a lot cluttering the background.
Background suboptimal, as I said, but
it's distracting me. I can't look at the bike. Is that a bonsai tree in the corner in the bottom there?
I think it could be. Yeah.
Needs a trim.
It's a very busy
It needs a trim.
Background.
The leaves are too big.
Yeah. Come on, you lead this one.
I just think the background is letting it down.
Okay.
I think it's a nice.
Okay, yeah, fair. I would have gone super nice on that, but we've got to agree on these things, so sorry about that.
Johnny Bravo.
1.
Johnny Bravo 1, yeah, not the original.
No.
Has submitted his Canyon Endurace. It's a brand new Canyon Endurace. Oh, look at that with its. Is that one by SRAM Force or is that 2 by SRAM?
No, 2 by.
No, it's got a derailleur on it. Yes. Very black, very stealthy.
Stealthy logos.
Yes, he's lined everything up.
Yeah.
I mean, how much more black could it be? More black is.
I actually quite like this colour. I really like deep purple.
Is it purple?
I think
or is it black?
No, I think it's a really deep purple.
There's a big bell as well there.
Yeah.
Where is that? Any information?
We've got no information on that, I don't think.
I think that. I mean, he's ticking all the boxes. I think that's a super nice. It's also immaculate, that chain.
Oh, actually, we've got a bit of information about this. He says him and his beautiful wife Jill were married at this church 33 years ago, which is pretty cool, isn't it? That.
Wow. There you go. That's why he's there. Well, he's in his happy place on his happy bike.
Good story behind it.
Yeah.
Good bike. I'm going to give this a super
nice for me.
Come on then.
That's very good. More Bike Vault next week. Unfortunately, that's it for this week's show. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please give it a thumbs up if you have, and subscribe to the chat channel if you haven't already. And if you'd like to get your hands on some of the greatest merch and hoodies available to humanity, we have them in the GCN shop.
Although, if you want them as a Christmas present, yeah, you might struggle to get them in time for tomorrow.
Yeah. It'll be late if you order it now, but better late than never.
Yeah.
Yes, or maybe you're born in January, and you want a birthday present in January.
Yeah, that would do.
Yeah.
Perfect. See you later.